On today's Glory Days show, the NHL season is over and the Pittsburgh Penguins have won the Stanley Cup. We'll talk to writer Mark Hogan about his champions in yellow and black and Pete Torgerson to wrap up the NHL season.
And we got a chance to talk to New York Mets legend Darryl Strawberry at an event out here on Long Island last week where he was delivering an anti-drug speech. We'll have that video for you.
And in our Did You Hear About segment, we have a few different stories ranging from donkey basketball to an NFL quarterback getting locked in a bathroom on the Jersey Turnpike to an update on our favorite paraplegic convicted murderer.
So don't touch that mouse. The best hour of your sports week is coming up on Glory Days right now.
Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, June 18th, 2016, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Brittany are behind the glass today, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C right here in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing okay.
Yeah, that was kind of an unexpected pleasure we had to meet Darryl Strawberry, last week.
You know what I came away from that meeting when we actually got to finally see him and meet with him? He's very tall.
Yes, he is. He is. He looked like a giant. Actually, I have to give my compliments to Kyle because after we interviewed him, he took a couple of minutes to take pictures with people, and Kyle took the picture. And where we were and how close he was, I really thought that it was going to be like maybe us and maybe Darryl Strawberry's like neck or something, you know. But he got it all in there. It was pretty good.
It was cool to do something like that.
It was.
You know, he was a really nice guy. He hung out with us for a few minutes, and we're going to see that later.
Yeah, yeah. So we should probably set the stage a little bit about it, okay?
Sure,
so we decide that we're going to. Well, I shouldn't say we decide. I mean, the station had a interview set up with him, and we were enlisted to go because we cover sports to go and see him. Of course, but we couldn't ask him any sports-related questions because
we only had a couple
he
minutes.
really wanted to stay on point, which was his anti-drug crusade. He's an ordained minister, right? So we get there, we check in, and we're told that he's running late.
He's running late, and I have to tell you, the little hairs on the back of my head went up.
Yeah, well,
I
said, this ain't going to happen, man. And I said, and I brought my baseball to get a picture with him, signed, you know.
So you have a signed Darryl Strawberry baseball?
I do.
But no official proof that he actually signed it.
Oh, I do.
Well, yeah, you have
there's a certificate of authentication.
Which means...
It was given to me as a gift for my 60th birthday by our good friend Roy Edelsack.
But you still don't know if he actually signed it.
No. I mean, you know. So actually, let's get back to the interview. So unfortunately, like you say, I shouldn't say unfortunately, we got a chance to meet him, but we couldn't ask him any baseball-related questions. And you and I were playing a little ping pong before when we were going out there, saying, "What questions are we going to ask him?" You know, he said, "Well, we got to ask him any stupid questions." Okay, so of course, I had a few on the top of my list, and the first one was, "Do you remember signing this baseball?" Okay, you know.
And what if he had said yeah?
Well, I would have said, prove it. I don't know. You know.
Did you ask him?
I didn't. I did not. I know that you got a chance to ask him a question on camera, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But anyway, so Kyle takes this picture. I got the baseball there. Well, I don't know if we can. We didn't have that queued up, so we probably take us a while to find it.
It's on the Facebook page.
There you go. And you know, so you post it out to a bunch of people. And Matty Wynn comes back and he asked me if Darryl Strawberry blessed me.
Ooh, did he?
And you know what I said?
What?
I said, no, Maddie, he sneezed and I blessed him.
Well, you remember, my brother got blessed by Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that's right.
My,
That's right.
Muhammad Ali said, God bless you. Mm-hmm. But then again, we don't know. He might have said that.
Yeah. So setting the stage, though. So we're told he's running late. I'm thinking this isn't going to happen, you know. Meanwhile, Kyle has the crew out there and they're shooting what they call that B-roll, I think they call it.
They
you know.
did a
And we'll
great
see
job.
some of that in a little while, I guess, too, right? Yeah. And the next thing we know, we get the high sign that Daryl is ready to meet us. And we go around this corner to this other side of the building, and there's like this access road where looks like the FBI is coming into something, man. It's like, you know.
And you're going to see that.
Yeah. So like 3 or 4 cars come in. The last car is this Cadillac SUV, right, with Massachusetts plates. And the door opens up, and it's Daryl Strawberry. He drives his own car, man.
He
which
was
I thought
actually
was pretty cool,
driving,
too.
which I thought after all those other people that were in front, it must have been 5, 6 cars.
Yeah.
Big, tall guy, very athletic. Still looks like he could still play.
Oh yeah, I felt that way. I for sure did. You know. But before we get to the video, let's talk about some of the questions we might have asked him had we been able to. Okay.
Okay. Well, you said you wanted to ask him about the baseball.
Right.
I wanted to ask him about being on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Which was my favorite question. I wanted to know what it was like to actually see yourself as a cartoon character on TV, a portrayal of yourself as a cartoon character. I would say most people don't get to see that.
No. See, and I was going to come at it from a different angle because I think I wasn't a Simpsons fan. You were kind of telling me, I guess, the story that it was a softball game and they had all these major league ball players lined up, but they all got hurt.
Yes.
So the only one that really played in the game was Daryl Strawberry.
Right.
And I was going to ask him about the 9 home runs he hit in one game. You know? I wonder what his reaction would have been. You know, Daryl, I was going over your records and 9 home runs in one game.
He
That's
would have kind
unbelievable.
of looked at you and said, maybe we should be talking to you about anti-drugs. But I did get to ask him, the big question that I wanted to ask him was, I wanted to ask him about Donald Trump.
And you were telling me, because I had forgotten that he was on The Apprentice, and you would explain to me that basically that he had begged off after 3 or 4 shows, right?
It was about the 3rd episode, if I remember, and I think he just didn't like it, and he just thought he was going to get fired, so he kind of volunteered to be fired. So
a sacrificial lamb.
He was a sacrificial lamb, so Donald Trump fired him. And Donald Trump had said something to the effect of that he thought that Daryl Strawberry was homesick and he just wanted to go home. Mm-hmm. You know, so I said to him, I asked him, I said, what is Donald Trump really like? I said, you know him. I said, all we see is the guy on TV, you know?
Right.
He says, well, he's a really nice guy. And then he paused and he said, but he's crazy. Which
I think that kind of sums it up.
I think that kind of sums it up. Everybody says he's a really nice guy.
Maybe we should be voting for Daryl Strawberry for president. That's what I think, you know. Write-in vote, you know.
I say let's read the intro.
Okay.
And then we'll do it. Kyle, you got that ready for us? And then we'll go to break?
Man.
All right. So, obviously, if you're a baseball fan in the New York area, you're all too familiar with the saga of Daryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. 2 of the most famous athletes of the 80s that they had limitless talent, and they led the Mets to their last World Series in 1986, World Series championship. But they were young, foolish, and probably became rich and famous way too quickly. You know, they're going to be the subject of an ESPN 30 for 30 that debuts July, I believe it's 14th.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually saw some commercials for it.
Yeah.
And it looked really, really good. They do a really nice job with that 30 for 30. Unfortunately for both of them, as talented as they were plagued by drug addictions that not only cost them their baseball career, but almost cost them their lives. Strawberry and Gooden were never able to reach their full potential on the baseball field, although both had successful seasons with the Yankees in the late 90s. I think Daryl Strawberry won 3 World Series.
Yeah, that was something that our friend Zeiss was reminding us of when we had posted that picture.
Yeah, but I don't think he was really instrumental in them winning.
No, I don't think he was either. He was a reserve player.
But both of them at this point.
Although I have to say that it wasn't John Zeiss, it was Linda Zeiss. Okay,
yeah, but I think
made
that's
those
John.
comments.
That's
I know,
John.
you know. I guess he hijacked her account. I don't know.
But both of those guys, they've now completely turned their lives around, and they're really dedicating their lives to helping the youth of America avoid the pitfalls that kind of put a kibosh on what would have been Hall of Fame careers. Both of those guys were headed for that type of fame.
And we knew right away in the case of Gooden, because he didn't show up at the at the celebration after they won the World Series, right? And he didn't have a very good World Series
Remember,
either.
and then the following year, he went into drug rehab.
Yeah, that's right, before the season started.
So Strawberry became a minister, and he's been helping youths with his drug treatment center, but he's been traveling around the country delivering his message, not as a baseball player, but as a compassionate human being, which is really what I got out of that. He really is into this stuff. So this past weekend, he was at the South Bay Bible Church in East Moriches to talk about how we can help the youth of Long Island understand the dangers of drug addiction, which is the thing.
Substance abuse.
I think the issue with addiction is that the people that have it don't know it. They don't really realize it. So we had the privilege of meeting him. We spoke to him for a few minutes, and this is kind of how it went. Hi, this is Bruce and Disco from the Inravio TV network, the Glory Day show on Saturday mornings, and we're here with Darryl Strawberry today. Darryl, thanks for taking the time with us today.
All right, guys, thanks. It's great to be here.
We wanted to ask you a little bit about the mission and what you're here for today.
Well, we're here to serve people. We're here to help people understand that God is important and that their life is important, their life matters. Across America, we have a serious problem with addiction. We have young people dying daily, and we think it's not in our community, it's everywhere. Heroin addiction is swept across America, and we need to get back to the biblical principles. We need to get back to what is real, what works, and I think we've gotten away from it. We've gotten away from educating our kids on drug addiction, alcoholism, and we've forgotten, taking out of the schools, taking God out of the school for the kids. And I think it's a real struggle, and I think the enemy's on the prowl, and he's destroying so many young people's lives.
What are we going to talk to them about today?
We're going to talk to them about, faith, having faith and belief in Christ. I think so many people have gotten away from the faith foundation and the principles of what we were founded on, and the biblical principles. I think it's been put on the back burner because nobody wants to talk about it. I talk about it. God changed me, God saved me, and I talk about it, and I get my point across. I go across America. Those that don't want to hear it, they shouldn't show up, because I'm going to talk about Jesus. It's not about me, it's what he's done in my life and how he's transformed my life. And the same for these young people that I see coming in my treatment center. It's a revolving door for suburban kids coming into treatment. I've been up and running for 2 years, and I've had over 1,000 people in my treatment center already. And so we got a major problem when we need to focus on and get back to the principles and educating the young people again.
And it's wonderful to see somebody like you doing this.
Well, that's what it's really about. It's about the purpose of life and why we're here. One thing I do know is we can't stay here. So what are we doing? How are we making a difference? Are we just talking? Are we being a soundboard? Or are we actually out there getting in action and doing it? So many people are sitting around and saying we have a problem. Well, if we all get up and do something, we can change the problem.
You've got a lot of people that'll be here today. Obviously, a lot of kids. Some of them know who you are. Some of them don't know who you are. What kind of how do you try to get them not to do this? Just saying no doesn't work.
No, I mean it's about the education part of getting them to know who they are and getting them to know the purpose of their life. There's a destiny for their life if they can have someone help them find that destiny. They can't find it themselves. The kids. Too many of us look at what we do and don't understand that there's a real purpose in our life, and we don't know it until we come to Christ. And you don't realize what's really important. It's more than just being a baseball player. It's becoming a man. It's becoming a man to do things to make a difference in others' lives, you know. And just like you guys, it's the same for you. You have that opportunity to make a difference in someone else's life.
Nicely done, Kyle.
Yes.
That's our producer, Kyle Melnick, doing that
Kudos.
work there.
Kudos.
Although, do me a favor, next time if we ever have to interview somebody who's 6'5", can you get me a box to stand on? Because I've kind of felt like a 5-year-old.
That was great.
That was really nicely done. You know what? He's really very articulate.
Yes.
Darryl Strawberry.
And very tall.
And very tall. Yeah. Next time we'll do it sitting down. But wouldn't it be cool just to talk to him about for more than just 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think he's a fascinating person to talk to. You know, him and Len Dykstra.
He grew up in Compton. That's where he grew up.
Did he?
Yeah. So I was wondering. I was going to ask him if he knew the NWAs or whatever.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
All right, we're just getting started here on the Glory Day Show. Right after the break, we're going to talk to Mark Hogan and our hockey maven Pete Torgerson about the Stanley Cup Finals. Later on, we'll have some fun, bringing some stories that you may not have heard about. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back. Thank you, Darryl Strawberry. Very cool.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. When the race for the Stanley Cup began in April, our first guest came on to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and tell us all about how they were going to win the Cup. Of course, at the time we here on the Glory Days show took it all with a grain of salt because we knew that the Islanders were going to win the Cup this year.
Yep.
So much for that. Please welcome back to the program our attorney from Ohio who's currently on the golf course, Mark Hogan. Mark, are you there?
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
Mark,
doing?
what golf course you on? Are you on Oakmont there or what?
No Oakmont today. Actually,
no.
I'm playing
Didn't
my
make the
old
cut, I see, huh? Okay.
playing my old home course that was actually at one time owned and operated by one Bill Mazeroski. You guys?
Sure,
wow,
Bill
sure.
Mazeroski. 1960 World Series hero, beating the Yankees in Game 7.
Yep.
That's right.
Of course. You know, we're Yankee haters on this program. We know every bad thing about the Yankees, man. You know, Bill Mazeroska, that's great, though.
So, Mark, now because you're an attorney, you have to be honest with us. How's your golf game?
You know, it can always be better, but I'm actually playing pretty good today so far, so we'll see if we can continue.
Are you in between holes right now, or is everybody waiting for you to take a shot?
No, I just sort of held up here and said I got to talk to my guys.
All right, cool.
All righty.
Cool.
So, first of all, congratulations. The Penguins, yeah, obviously they were the hottest team going into the playoffs.
And they just stayed hot.
Well, thanks, guys. You know, we talked about 2 months ago, and I had my apprehensions about this team, but they really, really played solid hockey, and I'm proud of them. You know, it started back, you know, all the way in March and April. They just seem to have it this year, and they played as a cohesive unit. I can't take anything away from San Jose. San Jose played a great series. It was a tough series. It was some really great games, but I'll tell you what, it's great to have that Stanley Cup back in Pittsburgh.
Well, you know,
Their fourth cup.
Right, it's the fourth
Yeah.
Stanley Cup, first time since the 90s, right?
But Joe, you know, and I guess I was a little surprised it was only 4. I don't know why I'm thinking that,
Yeah.
but you know, because I mean they've had some great teams. I mean, they've had some great players. You look at Mario Lemieux. You look at Yager. I mean, you look at Sidney Crosby was the MVP in this series, man. And I tell you what, you know, people, for all the people that says he whines, man, he just sucked it up and played this year, man. He really did. You know, he really is a great player. I'm glad to see that he's finally getting the accolades that he. I mean, and everybody knows he's a great player, but I mean, it was the whining piece that I think, you know, I think he just shut people up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, well, we won it in 09, so
Right.
I've said that, you know, the Penguins, I think, are the most talented team in hockey, and so I've been surprised that, you know, we've only won 2. I know that might, you know, seem
Cocky.
you know, a little egotistical and cocky to say, but I really believe that you know, they're an extremely talented team. And I thought Crosby said it best. He said, you know, when we got here in 09, we just thought we were going to be coming back and coming
Right.
back, and it's really hard to do. You know, Dan Marino said that when he went to the Super Bowl, I think it was in '83. He said,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
his
I always
first
thought I'd
year.
be back, and he just never came back.
Right, it was his first year. Those guys just think that they're going to be coming back all the time. You know, the Penguins, I mean, obviously you would know the numbers better than I would, but how many times have they been in the Stanley Cup Finals? Are they 4
How many
for
times
4?
have they? Well,
Do you remember them
we've got-
losing in a Stanley Cup Final?
I'll say this:
You're under oath,
try
by the way.
I try to forget every time my teams lose.
Because, you know, as far as the Islanders are concerned, the Islanders really have only been to the Stanley Cup Finals once when they didn't win.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the Islanders' problem has been trying to get back to the Stanley Cup. You know, and that's been Pittsburgh's problem since the 2009 Stanley Cup, is that as talented as they were, they just couldn't do it in the playoffs, you know? And that's where the reputation from Sidney Crosby about not showing up in the playoffs
Yeah.
has been coming from. But, man, he played a great finals.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he
you think
did.
about that
You're in that
draw when
MVP.
they won that one game in overtime, where, you know, and he kind of drew the play up before. It was, you know, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to score, we're going to go in the locker room and say, hey, we won, man, you know. Unbelievable.
What are you going to do? He's a good player. They won the Stanley Cup. Hey, you want to talk a minute about your Pirates?
Oh gosh.
Well, let's talk
Quit beating
about
up on-
Roberto
quit
Clemente.
beating up on my Pirates, guys.
Only because the Mets took 2 out of 3 from them, that's why.
But you know, Pittsburgh the previous week, Pittsburgh took 2 out of 3 against the Mets. So
You know what?
Yeah.
They've been having the same strange season that the Mets are having.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not playing very good ball right now, and you know we're in a series right now with Chicago that we really got to win some games because we're falling fast, guys. I don't know that we're going to make the playoffs this year if we keep this up or not.
You know,
I
one of the
gotta tell you,
comments they made at the game, because they played the Mets Wednesday, I guess they played the Mets Thursday night, and then had a Friday afternoon game against Chicago, so they had to travel, and they're facing Jake Arrieta. You know,
Yeah.
good luck with winning that game.
All righty, Mark, we're out of time. Enjoy your golf game.
I will, gentlemen. Hey, it's always my pleasure, and hopefully I'll be talking with you here soon. We'll talk some football or maybe some late season baseball.
You
Sounds
got
great.
it, man. Thanks
All
again,
right.
and congratulations to Pittsburgh.
All right, thank you, guys.
All righty, that's our good pal Mark Hogan. You know, the Stanley Cup Finals were exciting,
Yeah.
as usual. They usually are.
Well, they always are.
But the finals themselves, this was the first year that I missed the presentation of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I missed it too.
I fell asleep.
I missed it too.
I missed it. I always try and.
And I was checking in on it because I saw it was 3-1. I said, well, looks like this is going to be over, man.
And I was watching. I saw it was 2-1 in the third period, and there was about 8 minutes left. I said, oh, all right. So if they hold on, you know, everything will be fine. And then next thing I knew,
You know,
it
it's
was
like
already over.
3
They
o'clock
were
in the morning.
already-
Ooh, you know.
No, it wasn't that bad, but they were already.
At
skating
least you don't
around
get
with
the.
it.
At least these stations don't sign off like they used to. You know, get
Yeah.
woo. You know what's going on? You know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
But I did. I wanted to make sure that I got. I wanted to make. I always like to see that actual presentation.
Yeah.
Like when they first hand them the cup, that pure joy.
Yeah, exactly right.
on their
It's usually
face.
that toothy grin. You know, the guy with no teeth. You know, smiling. Bobby Clark. I always think about that picture when they won. Okay, so the hockey season that began in October has finally come to a close. There were lots of ups and downs as teams jockeyed for position during regular season that yielded a postseason without a Canadian team. The NHL playoffs are unparalleled, and so is our next guest. He has been our rock for all these years, and we've been doing the show, so please welcome back the third Beatle. Third Beatle? I thought the fifth Beatle.
Well, there's
Our
only
good
two of
friend,
us.
Pete Torgerson. Okay.
There's only two of us.
Third
so
Beatle.
He's
okay.
the third Beatle.
How you doing,
Pete.
boys?
How are
Hey,
you?
Petey, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
I was just telling Bruce, I said, I'm so upset that I actually missed the presentation of the Stanley Cup this year.
Ah,
I fell
never gets
asleep.
old.
I must be getting old.
Yeah, well, and you know, Pete, not to get nostalgic here, but the name of the show is Glory Days. You were in the room with a couple of these cups, right?
Yes, I was.
I always love to hear those stories. So,
Me and my boy Fergie, we snuck into the Devils locker room in '94, and they were passing the cup around. And we had one of those old. Remember those cardboard cameras?
yep, sure.
So he's like, "You grab it, I'll take a picture. I grab it, you take a picture." And it came around. It was like going through the brothers and uncles and aunts, and next thing you know, I got it. and it is documented.
Yeah. And nobody said, "Hey, who the hell are you?"
Nah, you just make
Nobody
life like-
cares at that point.
Right. Everybody's just happy.
As long as you're in the locker room, you probably belong to be.
Now, but I thought you were in a. Weren't you out in L.A. when that happened?
No, New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay. But I thought you were in there with L.A. Also.
L.A. I was out there with the playoffs.
Oh, I see.
Friend was-
Okay.
When my
So
friend was
no
a trainer.
cup.
Yeah.
No cup.
Yep, no cup there.
Nobody
okay.
got to wear Wayne Gretzky's jersey.
So, Pete, I mean, how heavy is that thing?
Not heavy. You know, like 35, 40 pounds.
Okay.
That's pretty heavy.
It almost knocked Josh Demers over when he. Not Josh
Really?
Demers. What's Demers, the assistant coach.
So what's going to happen now during the off season of hockey? What do you think? Any big moves? Anything? What do teams need to do to stop Pittsburgh?
As far as here's what I think. Here, hold on. I'm doing two things here.
Uh-oh.
Here's what I think the Islanders should do. They have to watch the videos of how the Penguins won, how the young guys competed, how Crosby carried the team, how he was the best player in both ends of the ice. Tavares this year, if you watch the videos of some of the games, he was on the ice when big goals were scored at the end of the game, overtime, stuff like few things like that. Hold on one second.
Yep. You know, but he also scored some big goals too, Tavares.
But you know what? He was a.
Wait, how long do you think?
2 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. We're walking into a lacrosse state championship game.
Okay. I thought you
Ooh.
were placing an order for hamburgers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way Crosby played, it was unbelievable. He carried that team. The plays he was making, both ends, blocking shots. How about the way he started the last game? He dropped the puck. He turns around. And he slashes Thornton right in the back of the legs. Like, okay, it's on. And I don't know if you saw any of the videos. Some guy was in his face. He's like, "Get away from me, will you, please? Who are you?"
Well, I'm looking forward to the final. I didn't get a chance to see the final episode of that the Showtime show, so I'm going to watch that on demand.
Yeah.
So
but the big off-season news is, it looks like Las Vegas is going to get awarded a franchise. And it looks like the Rangers, I was talking to a Ranger fan a couple of days ago, he thinks his team is sunk. He says the Islanders are on the upswing. He says he thinks the Rangers are on a downswing. They got some guys that they can't trade. They're gonna lose some good players in the expansion draft.
The key to the off-season is Steven Stamkos has to come to Brooklyn.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yep. That would be nice.
That would be the key. And you know what? Matt Martin's the selling point because that was his line mate in juniors.
Yeah.
So
but they have to keep Matt Martin.
I know a few months ago, the same guy was telling me that basically Stamkos is kind of committed to Toronto, and that's where John Tavares will wind up when he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
You think so?
I don't think so.
I hope you're right, Pete. I'd love to see
I don't
Stamkos
see
on
why.
that.
I don't see
why
this guy would leave Tampa. It's absolutely beautiful down there, where to play and where they live and everything. So.
Well, you don't think he wants to take the Long Island Railroad to Brooklyn 7 times a week?
Right, and have 80 road games. Unbelievable.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, my daughter's giving me the eye here.
I know, Pete. So thanks for taking the time today, and
as usual, a stellar reporting.
And
all right,
we will, thanks for everything, and we will talk to you sometime later in the summer.
I'll talk to you before then.
All right. Both Sox are looking good too there, Pete, huh?
All right. Good job, guys.
All right. Take care, man.
Thanks, Pete.
All right.
That's our good pal, Pete Torgerson. Mm-hmm. So
I think I know who that was.
That brings, I'm letting them know.
Okay. All
that was our good pal, Pete Torgerson.
Let's take another break.
All right. When we get back, we'll bring you some more stories that you may not have heard about in a segment that we call Did You Hear About? Stay with us. You're watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Master. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. Well, if you're just joining us, well, where the heck have you been all morning? But here on the Glory Day Show, we take pride in keeping you, our sophisticated yet twisted audience, informed on what is going on in the world of sports. Oh, sure, you can get the scores and highlights of a baseball game on ESPN or other websites. But we here at the Glory Day Show go out of our way to bring you the stories that we guarantee you will be talking about later on today. The strange, the macabre, the completely ridiculous. We like to call this segment, Did You Hear About? Alrighty. Today, on the Did You Hear About segment, we're going to do a quick hits segment.
Quick hits, okay.
Quick hits, all right? Are you ready? What we're going to do now is we're going to do quick stories and then go to the next one.
Okay. I'm up for it.
Ready?
You're up.
Alrighty. Our first story might be considered cringe-inducing for our male members of our audience. Juan Uribe came to the Mets last year and immediately became not only a fan favorite, but a big presence in the clubhouse. Players had great things to say about him regarding his professionalism and with the way he kind of carried himself.
What are you talking about?
You see, Uribe's reputation as a ball player also came with a little-known fact outside the locker room. He has one of the biggest hogs in the major leagues, and he wasn't afraid to show it off. Uribe was known for exposing himself all the time in the locker room while with the Mets, like a proud parent showing off his children's photographs. But on Sunday, Uribe, whose nickname is Dark Sexy, and he affectionately nicknamed his Johnson Coke can, took a hard ground ball right to the nuts on Sunday that was measured at 106 miles per hour off the bat. After taking the direct hit and crumpling to his knees, he was taken out of the game. After suffering what was called a testicular contusion, Uribe didn't take batting practice the next day and was asked about why he doesn't wear a protective cup while on the field. He says, "I don't think the trainers have my size." And of course, when the reporters laughed at him, he just simply said, "I'm serious."
All right. Dallas Cowboy running back Darren McFadden had surgery on his right elbow Tuesday, and that could keep him out of the season opener against the Giants. After attending the team's organized drills last week with a protective sleeve on his arm, he didn't notice the team's athletic trainers until Friday, and at his physical on Monday, x-rays revealed a fracture. And how did he fracture the elbow? Why? He fell on it over the Memorial weekend while trying not to break his cell phone. Other NFL players have injured themselves doing stupid things. Think about Jason Pierre-Paul blowing up his fingers with fireworks last year. Remember quarterback Gus Farrow trying to headbutt the wall while celebrating a TD and straining his neck? But trying to save your phone, that might be a new one. But don't be too hard on McFadden. Phones are our lifelines now. When you lose or damage your cell phone, your first thought is, did I back up my contacts? Or worse, my photos? Now I have to reload all my apps. Some people die when trying to retrieve their phones in the street or on a subway platform. So maybe a fractured elbow isn't so bad after all.
Did you ever lose your phone?
I did.
It's a big pain in the wazoo, isn't it?
It is. It is.
He may not be a household name yet, but quarterback Carson Wentz was the #2 pick in the NFL draft this year by the Philadelphia Eagles. But before he's even thrown a TD pass in the NFL, he's already made news on the New Jersey Turnpike. He got locked in a gas station bathroom. The 6'5", 237-pound rookie actually posted it on his Twitter feed, and he got over 3,000 retweets. He was eventually rescued by a station attendant who used a garden shears to break the lock. But how do you find yourself in that situation? Why stop at a gas station? It's probably the most disgusting possible place. But I guess when you got to go. And if Wentz can't make his way out of a bathroom, how's he supposed to escape the blitz?
That's a good question. Okay, our favorite paraplegic convicted murderer, Oscar Pistorius, was back in court this week trying to get the judge to show leniency at his sentencing hearing. Pistorius is facing 15 years for murdering his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. Part of his defense is to show the judge that he is vulnerable in prison, so he was walking around the courtroom on his stubs without his prosthetic legs. The chief prosecutor was having none of it, saying, "Pity will play no role in the sentence." Do you feel sad for Pistorius after seeing him without his prosthetic legs? Do you get to murder someone and then ask for pity? Maybe you should feel sorry for him if he was measured too short for a ride in an amusement park, but because they won't let him use his fake legs in prison? I don't think so.
Can we look at that picture in full screen for a second real fast? You know, doesn't it look like it's photoshopped?
It does.
But that's the actual picture of him in court trying to show that. But apparently he can walk on his stubs.
Now, who's that on the right?
I don't know, but I think she's dead.
Okay. That's Steenkamp?
Yeah, that's Steenkamp. You see his legs in the corner there? He had to take them off. All right. Are animal rights activists losing their minds? Recently, there have been a number of stories about animals and humans interacting with bad results, like that child that got into the gorilla cage in an Ohio zoo, or a drunken man who climbed into the lion cage. Both times, the animal was killed to try and save the life of the human. Recently, Barnum and Bailey Circus announced that they will suspend the trained elephant portion of their show because animal activists say it's inhumane. And who knows what's going to happen to the alligators now that one of them snatched a little kid at Disney World. Well, the Animal League Defense Fund has threatened a lawsuit against Margaritaville Central High School in upstate New York unless they cease and desist with their annual fundraiser. It's a donkey basketball game. Okay? Although school superintendent Robert Chalker said that the event has not been canceled, they just decided not to schedule it this year.
What does that mean?
Does that sound like a politician or what?
Yeah, it does.
The ADLF called the game a violation of state education law that schools must provide education, quote, in the humane treatment and protection of animals. Is that like when they dissect frogs? They claim
That's
They claim that the donkeys are scared into action with sticks and batons and are oftenly visibly confused and frightened. Has anybody from the ADLF actually ever seen what donkeys do all day long?
They don't do much, do they?
No. I mean, I've been to donkey basketball games, and they're having a ball. They're hee-hawing all the time. They're taking the riders in the wrong direction. They're crapping on the court. Everybody has a great time. You know, donkeys are at the bottom of the animal totem pole already. You know, aren't they? They look sad all day long, and no matter what they're doing, they smell terrible. Their nickname is Jackass. What else would they be doing? Hauling coffee beans all day? Why not let them enjoy an hour or two once or twice a year when people can actually cheer for them?
All I can think of is Eeyore.
Who?
Eeyore from,
oh, yeah.
you know, he's got a cloud over his head and he's always sad, you know. Donkey's life is not a happy life.
That's who you think of when you think of. And so here they are. They're running around a basketball court for, 15 minutes. Everybody's laughing and cheering. And then they got to go back to eating grass.
Oh, boy.
Or eating tin cans, right? Don't they say they eat tin cans?
I think that's a goat.
Oh, that's a goat.
Yeah, okay. Last but not least.
Goats and donkeys are different?
Yes, they are. As a Major League Baseball player, Ichiro Suzuki is on the verge of cracking the 3,000 hit club, less than 25 hits away from that magical mark. But before he came to the major leagues, he amassed 1,278 hits in the Japanese major leagues. If you combine the two, he is now tied with Pete Rose for the most hits in the major leagues, 4,256. Someone asked Rose what he felt about people counting Ichiro's hits in Japan. It sounds like in Japan they are trying to make me the hit queen. I'm not going to take anything away from Ichiro. He's had a Hall of Fame career, Rose said, but the next thing you know, they'll be counting his high school hits. I don't think you're going to find anybody with credibility say that Japanese baseball is the equivalent of Major League Baseball. There are too many guys that fail here and then become household names there. Having more hits than Rose is one hell of an accomplishment, but he's not the hit king. Would Ichiro have surpassed Rose if he played his entire career in the majors? Maybe. He came in as a 27-year-old and had 242 hits, winning both the MVP and the Rookie of the Year in 2001. 3 years later, he set the single-season mark with 262 hits. As a 40-year-old, he's hitting .350.
Could you imagine if that guy had played his entire career?
It'd be interesting.
You know, I mean, you think about the mark that
Pete Rose?
Pete Rose has now. And, you know, there's so many players that are currently playing now that are barely going to get to 2,000 hits. You know, why is that? What made somebody like Rose different, or Ichiro different? I mean, maybe with Rose it was his longevity. He played into his 40s.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like...
you know, we didn't talk about Gordie Howe dying. I mean, you know, that's a guy that played, what, 5 decades, I think
Gordie
they said he
Howe,
played.
not only did he play, he played with his sons.
Yeah.
In the WHA.
I know.
I got to see him play a couple of times.
Did you?
In the end of his career, the early years of the Islanders. And
when he played for who? The Whalers then, or did he play for
the Hartford Whalers
okay.
then? Yeah. And you know what they used to call the Gordie Howe hat trick? Right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
a goal, an assist, and a fight.
That's exactly right. You know, those type of guys, they're just, you know, they're just not around anymore.
Yeah. So we started talking about Pete Rose. We ended up talking about Gordie
Well, you know
Howe
what? Both of those guys are iconic players.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Gordie Howe passing away was a great sport legend. You know, remember the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
Okay. Remember his friend? He wore a Gordie Howe jersey. The whole movie.
Yeah.
And I found out the reason why. You know,
he
because
was Gordie Howe's
Chicago.
illegitimate son.
Yeah. Well, you know, the movie was based in Chicago.
Yes, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So why is he... I mean, Detroit is like Chicago's most rival thing, right?
It's like New York and Boston and things like that.
Turns out that the underlying subplot, which wasn't discussed in the movie at all, was that you know the thing about how his father didn't like him, right, and he was kind of estranged from his father and stuff. Turns out his grandfather was from Detroit.
I see.
And he used to go to hockey games with the grandfather, and Gordie Howe was his favorite player. You don't get that on any other sports TV show.
All I can say is, I did not know that.
All right, we're going to take our last break of the day, and when we get back, we will wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You're watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Willie. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on.
Or else.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the TV network. You know, I went to the Met game last night.
The TV network, as we said.
What did I say?
I don't think you said Inravio. It's the Inravio.
Did I just say the TV network?
That's what you said.
Can you play that back? Well, you're watching on the Inravio TV network. Anyway, I went to the Met game last night.
Yes.
And it was pitiful.
Well, you know, they scored in the first inning. It was 1-0. I said, this is great. I mean, Matt Harvey's been pitching great baseball lately, and he didn't pitch too good last night. You know, and I wouldn't say he pitched a bad game.
Right, exactly.
But, you know, where it was time to get out, he gave up a double.
He couldn't give up. He gave up 4 doubles in 3 batters. And the guy who he got out was the pitcher. Mm-hmm. He gave up a double to the number 7 guy, the number 8 guy. Got the number 9 guy out to end the inning, then led off the
but his curveball wasn't working. You know what I mean? No. You know, he just had a subpar game.
He's very ordinary. 2 things I think that the Mets need to do.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, now that we know that David Wright is done for the year, obviously, need somebody to play third.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't think it's Wilmer Flores?
No.
Okay. You don't think moving Walker to third and bringing Dilson Herrera up is the answer?
I don't like putting a guy out of position. This is a guy who only played a handful of games at the major league level at third base. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is not, you know, you can't. This is not the Mets of 2011, where you could play people out of position if you really want, because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is a team that's a World Series team. We expect to be back in the World Series. How could it be that if you look at that entire 8 guys out on those fields, because pitchers don't count, that we don't have one guy other than Cespedes that is considered an all-star? Right? There's not one guy. Who's an all-star on that team? Right?
Curtis Anderson's playing pretty good ball now.
Yeah, but he's still batting .212.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you think of the teams
So how are you going to solve this malaise that they have?
Here's what we need to do. Number 1, it's going to cost money. I know that.
Okay.
But go out and sign that Cuban third baseman that was declared a free agent this week.
Okay.
Okay. This guy is the single best hitter in the Cuban professional leagues for the last 4 years. He also is very good friends.
Now, how good is the Cuban League compared to the Japanese League?
Don't know.
Okay.
But Cuba wins all the Olympics and stuff. This guy.
Well, they're threatened with death if they don't.
Yorulesky Goriel, right?
It looks like squirrel with some different letters. I don't know.
Go in front of it. So this guy is very good friends with
Cespedes.
Cespedes says he's the best player he's ever played with.
Yeah.
Okay. So go out and get that guy. It's only money.
But it's a lot of money, isn't it?
I don't care. What do I care?
Yeah.
I'm already paying money to go see them.
I don't know. I mean, I look at the acquisition they made. Oh, by the way, did you see that he was playing first base for the Yankees?
Ike Davis.
He was playing last night, yeah.
But what are you going to do? You're going to go out and get Jimmy Rollins? You're going to bring back Jose Reyes?
Well, they were
because
they're talking about a player whose team is tanking right now, and they were expected to compete.
Yeah, but whoever that player is, it's got to cost me a player.
Yeah.
So who am I trading? Wheeler?
Well, okay.
Right? That's what I'm saying is if this is a strictly cash transaction, I think we should go out and do
Your
it.
cash ain't nothing but trash. Okay.
I think that we should go out and do something like that.
Okay. Well, it's not your money, so.
That's right. Well, it is my money. I pay for that.
Okay.
If I don't go to the games, then I'm bringing in any revenue.
That's true.
So the customer is always right.
Well, I can tell you that in my line of business, I said that to my boss, and my boss said, "No, Bruce, but the customer is always the customer." Okay. Because they are not always right.
No,
You know?
the customer,
and I don't think you're right in this. You're spending this guy's money, is what you're
yes,
doing.
but you know what? The customer may not always be right.
Yeah.
But he is the customer.
That's right.
You know, the customer's wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But you got to make the customer happy.
Well, that's true. That is true.
All right. So, I think that's it.
All right.
All right. Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Brittany, for all their hard work, making us look good out there. Thanks to Mark Hogan, Pete Torgerson, for joining us today to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this type of quality program. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. This might be the last Glory Day show for a couple of weeks. We may go on hiatus for the summer. We're going to try and sneak in a few episodes to go along if we can. So continue to follow our Facebook page, and we will absolutely keep you updated. It's been an honor and a privilege to do this show each and every week for me. It's been a lifelong dream. Most people don't ever get to live out their dreams.
That's right.
You know, especially at this stage of the game. So I'm both lucky and humbled to be able to do this. And although we do this show for Inravio and for you, our fans, the best part of it is getting to sit next to my buddy over here and do what we've been doing for over 40 years now.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, talking about sports, and having a good time. Life is a wonderful journey, and we're both so happy that we could share ours with you. So don't forget about us.
And don't forget, tomorrow is Father's Day.
Father's Day.
He told me to ask you to remind you of that.
And I'm glad you did, because you know what? I always forget.
Okay.
You know.
Well, our dads are no longer with us, unfortunately.
Right. And we'll post a video on a Facebook page that we used to show every Father's Day to honor our fathers, who I think they both would have enjoyed this show.
Oh, I'm sure they would have.
Every week.
They probably would have called in and heckled us. Yeah. I know my father would have, you know. Beat the Mets, you know.
Everybody beats the Mets. Your father was the most sarcastic Met fan
I
ever.
know, he was. He was.
Don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inravio.com, and you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. If we don't see you, have a great summer, everybody. Stay safe. See you in September. And go see your fathers tomorrow.
Yes. Please do that.